The emotional opening, let me tell you something real, something straight from my heart. There's a kind of blessing in life most people overlook. They chase money, they chase success, they chase applause, they chase everything that glitters. But they forget the one thing that actually makes the journey worth living, building your life with the right partner. See, life is long, life is heavy. Life will knock you down, drag you around, shake you up, and make you question everything you ever believed. But when you have the right person standing next to you, when you have someone who looks at you like you're capable, even when you don't feel capable, when you have someone who says, I got you, when the world says, you're done, everything changes. I remember this older man once told me a story. He said, son, you can walk through hell alone, or you can build a home in heaven with someone who loves you. That line stuck with me my whole life because I learned the hard way that success without someone to share it with is empty. You can be the richest person in the room, the most successful one around, but if you go home to loneliness, it hits different. So today, I want to talk to you about something deeper than motivation, deeper than mindset, deeper than discipline. I want to talk about building your life with your partner, brick by brick, dream by dream, season by season, because when two people commit to building together, they create something no storm can destroy. This ain't a list. This ain't bullet points. This is a journey. 7 chapters of truth, pain, victory, and love. 7 things that will change how you show up for your partner and how they show up for you. 7 things that, if you live them, will turn your relationship into a foundation for greatness. Let's walk through them. Let me tell you something real, something straight from my heart. There's a kind of blessing in life most people overlook. They chase money, they chase success, they chase applause, they chase everything that glitters. But they forget the one thing that actually makes the journey worth living, building your life with the right partner. See, life is long. Life is heavy. Life will knock you down, drag you around, shake you up, and make you question everything you ever believed. But when you have the right person standing next to you, when you have someone who looks at you like you're capable, even when you don't feel capable, when you have someone who says, I got you, when the world says, you're done, everything changes. I remember this older man once told me a story. He said, son, you can walk through hell alone, or you can build a home in heaven with someone who loves you. That line stuck with me my whole life because I learned the hard way that success without someone to share it with is empty. You can be the richest person in the room, the most successful one around, but if you go home to loneliness, it hits different. So today, I want to talk to you about something deeper than motivation, deeper than mindset, deeper than discipline. I want to talk about building your life with your partner, brick by brick, dream by dream, season by season, because when two people commit to building together, they create something no storm can destroy. This ain't a list. This ain't bullet points. This is a journey. 7 chapters of truth, pain, victory, and love. 7 things that will change how you show up for your partner and how they show up for you. 7 things that, if you live them, will turn your relationship into a foundation for greatness. Let's walk through them. The first truth about building a life with your partner is this: love is not a one-time choice. It's a daily one. People think relationships die because of one big fight, one betrayal, one moment. No. Most relationships die because people stop choosing each other in the small moments. Your partner doesn't need perfection. They need consistency. They need to hear, I'm here. They need to feel your presence, not just physically, but emotionally. They need reassurance that you're choosing them even when you're tired, even when life is loud, even when the world is pulling you in 100 directions. Think about it. Every great building is created brick by brick, not all at once. In the same way, every strong relationship is built choice by choice. Choosing to listen when you'd rather walk away. Choosing to stay when your pride wants to leave. Choosing to apologize even when you think you're right. Choosing to be gentle when life outside is rough. Choosing to be your partner's peace, not their war. Most people lose their partner not because they stopped loving them, but because they stopped choosing them. You can't build a life together if you keep leaving each other alone emotionally. You can't expect a strong bond when you're only half present. You can't demand loyalty when you offer inconsistency. Let me tell you what I learned. Your partner wants to feel secure, not scared. They want to know you're not loving them conditionally. They want to know you're not going to drop them the moment things get difficult. If you want your relationship to last, if you want to build a life that stands, make the decision every morning that says, this is my person. I'm showing up for them today. And let me add something important. Choosing each other doesn't mean losing yourself. It means bringing your best self. It means growing individually so the partnership becomes stronger. It means understanding that love isn't ownership. It's partnership. It's teamwork. It's two souls walking side by side toward a shared future. When you choose each other every day, you lay the first foundation stone of a lifetime together. And I promise you, that simple choice becomes the root of extraordinary love. If you truly want to build a life with your partner, you've got to understand something. Storms are guaranteed. Hard seasons are guaranteed. There will be days you don't see eye to eye. There will be moments you feel misunderstood, unseen, unheard. There will be financial struggles, emotional battles, unexpected losses, and days when the weight of the world feels too heavy for one person to carry. But here's the thing, storms don't destroy relationships. Silence does. Ego does. Separation does. Miscommunication does. Every couple goes through storms. The difference between those who make it and those who don't is simple. They decide to hold each other tighter when the storm gets louder. You don't run from storms. You walk through them together. The power of choosing each other every day. Let me tell you something real, something most people never learn until it's too late. Love is not held together by the big moments, the fancy dinners, the anniversary posts, or the highlight reels. Love is held together by the small, often invisible choices we make every single day. When you decide to build a life with your partner, you're not signing up for a one-time decision. You're signing up for a lifetime of choosing each other again and again, even when it's hard, even when it's inconvenient, even when life pulls you in 100 different directions. And that's where most people get it wrong. They think that once they say, I love you, the work stops. They think once the relationship feels safe, the commitment becomes automatic. But nothing about love is automatic, and nothing about building a life together is effortless. Every morning you wake up, you're faced with a choice. Do you show up with presence, intention, and love, or do you drift, detach, and assume your partner will stay even when you stop choosing them? See, your partner doesn't need grand gestures. They need daily reassurance. They need to know that when life gets loud and overwhelming, you still see them, you still hear them, and you still value them. They need to know you're not loving them based on mood or convenience or circumstance. They need to feel that your love is not a seasonal feeling, but a daily decision. Because the truth is, relationships don't fall apart because the love disappears. They fall apart because the choosing stops. One day you stop listening. Another day you stop communicating. Another day you choose distraction over connection. Before you know it, distance grows where devotion used to live. Choosing each other daily means choosing vulnerability even when pride wants to shut down. It means choosing to be honest even when dishonesty feels easier. It means choosing to show affection even when stress tries to harden your heart. It means choosing to put your partner first sometimes, not because you owe them something, but because love is not self-centered. It's self-aware. It sees beyond the moment. It invests in the long term. It understands that what's built over time becomes stronger than what's built overnight. And choosing each other isn't just emotional. It's spiritual. It's holding hands not because life is perfect, but because you're committed to walking through the imperfections together. It's looking your partner in the eye after an argument and saying, we're not done. We're going to fix this. We're going to grow through this. It's understanding that love isn't about avoiding conflict. It's about protecting connection. Most couples fight, but the strongest couples fight for each other, not against each other. The difference is in the choosing. Your partner wants to feel like a priority, not an option. They want to feel chosen, not tolerated. They want to feel included in your dreams, not squeezed into your spare time. And you know what? So do you. We all want that. We all want someone who wakes up and says, I'm still choosing you. I'm choosing this love. I'm choosing this future. I'm choosing this journey with all its highs and lows. That kind of commitment brings a peace money can't buy and success can't replace. It's the kind of security that makes you walk differently, breathe differently, live differently. Choosing each other every day also means choosing to grow individually and collectively. Because the strongest relationships aren't built by two perfect people. They're built by two people committed to becoming better together. You don't build a life with someone by staying who you were on day one. You build it by evolving, healing, learning, and showing up with more wisdom, more maturity, and more grace than you did yesterday. When you choose each other daily, you're saying, I'm willing to grow for us. I'm willing to become the person this relationship deserves. And let me tell you this, choosing each other is not always loud. Sometimes it's quiet. It's the way you check on them when they're overwhelmed. It's the way you hold them when words fail. It's the way you sit beside them in silence just so they don't feel alone. It's the way you forgive them without keeping score. It's the way you choose peace instead of proving a point. It's the way you choose love even when you're tired. Every great relationship is made of thousands of little choices. And every day you choose your partner, you're laying another brick in the foundation of a life that can withstand any storm. A home built on daily commitment will always outlast a romance built on temporary excitement. So choose them. Choose them again. Choose them still. That's how you build a life worth living. One intentional choice at a time. Weathering the storms together. Let me tell you something about love, something about real partnership, something about building a life with another human being. Storms are guaranteed. I don't care how perfect your relationship looks on the outside. I don't care how cute your pictures are. I don't care how good your chemistry feels in the beginning. Life will test you. Life will shake you. Life will bring moments that hit so hard they make you question everything. And the true measure of your relationship isn't how you act when the sun is shining. It's how you hold each other when the thunder rolls in. Every couple experiences storms, misunderstandings, financial pressure, emotional overwhelm, arguments that leave your heart bruised, seasons where you're not on the same page, moments where fear or insecurity or stress creeps in. But storms don't break relationships. What breaks relationships is when people stop fighting together and start fighting each other. When two people forget that they're on the same team. When partners become opponents instead of allies. That's when the foundation begins to crack. See, when you decide to build a life together, you're not just signing up for the good days. You're committing to the battle together. You're saying, when life gets ugly, I'm not walking away. I'm not shutting down. I'm not leaving you to deal with it alone. I'm staying here beside you through every wave that tries to knock us down. That's what it means to weather storms, because storms are loud, but love is louder when two people stand united. A lot of couples crumble because they think every disagreement is a threat, every argument is a breakup, every emotional moment is a sign that something is wrong. But conflict is normal, pressure is normal, imperfection is normal. You cannot build a life with someone and expect the journey to be smooth. Growth is messy. Healing is messy. Learning each other is messy. But you know what's beautiful? When two people decide that the mess will not scare them away. When you're in a storm, you don't abandon the ship, you strengthen the grip on the wheel. You don't blame the waves, you steady your partner. You don't point fingers, you hold hands. Because storms are temporary. But the way you treat each other during those storms becomes permanent. Your partner doesn't need someone who panics when things go wrong. They need someone who says, we're going to get through this. Not because it's easy, but because we're committed. Let me tell you something I've learned through my own storms. The worst fights don't destroy relationships. The silence afterward does. The distance afterward does. The coldness that replaces connection does. You can survive loud storm, but you can't survive quiet abandonment. And sometimes abandonment isn't leaving. It's the emotional withdrawal that happens when pride gets in the way of communication. Humans break when they feel alone in a relationship. So when storms come, talk. Even if your voice shakes. Listen even when you don't understand yet. Apologize even when your ego wants to win. Forgive. Even when your mind remembers the hurt, comfort. Even when your heart is tired. And above everything else, stay. Stay when it's complicated. Stay when misunderstandings make things tense. Stay when life gets overwhelming. Stay when fear makes one of you pull back. Not because staying is easy, but because love is worth the endurance. And here's the beautiful thing about storms. They reveal the truth. They show you who's really with you, who's really committed, who's really invested in the life you're building together. Anyone can love you on a sunny day, but the person who loves you in your storms, that's the person you build with. That's the person you trust with your dreams, your scars, your insecurities, your future. Storms also teach you compassion. They teach you patience. They teach you how to hold each other without trying to fix everything. Sometimes your partner doesn't need solutions. They need your presence. They need your reassurance that the storm outside won't turn into a storm between you. And sometimes storms break down walls that needed to fall so the relationship could grow deeper roots. You can come out of storms stronger, more connected, more understanding of each other if you face them together. Life will test your love, but it will also reward your loyalty. Every storm you survive together becomes another brick in the foundation of your relationship. Another moment that proves you're not just in love, you're in it for life. And when the storm finally passes, when the clouds break, when the sun returns, you'll look at your partner differently. You'll see not just the person you love, but the person who held your hand through the hardest moments. The one who stayed, the one who fought with you, not against you. And that right there is the kind of love that lasts. The kind of love you build a whole life on. Building trust as the unbreakable foundation. Let me tell you something right now. Trust is the heartbeat of every strong relationship. You can have love, you can have passion, you can have chemistry that lights up a room. But if you don't have trust, you don't have a foundation. You're building a house on sand, and the moment life puts weight on it, the whole thing starts to crumble. But when trust is present, when trust is protected, when trust is nurtured, that's when a relationship becomes unshakable. That's when two people can build a life without fear of collapse. Trust isn't built in the big moments. It's built in the small, simple, everyday actions that show your partner they can rely on you. It's built when you answer honestly, even when lying would be easier. It's built when you show up when you say you will. It's built when your words match your actions. It's built when you honor promises nobody else heard. It's built when you choose respect even in heated moments. It's built when you stay consistent even when emotion would have you running wild. Trust isn't a speech. It's a pattern. It's a collection of moments that quietly whisper, "You're safe with me." People often think betrayal is the only way trust breaks, but that's not true. Trust erodes in 1,000 small ways. It breaks when someone dismisses their partner's feelings. It breaks when someone uses silence as punishment. It breaks when someone hides thoughts that should have been shared. It breaks when sarcasm replaces compassion. It breaks when a partner feels judged for being vulnerable. It breaks when one person keeps showing their worst and hiding their best. And every fracture, every tiny crack makes the relationship weaker until eventually someone begins to feel lonely inside the connection. See, trust isn't just about fidelity. It's deeper than that. It's emotional loyalty. It's showing your partner that their heart is safe in your hands. It's communicating openly instead of leaving them to guess your intentions. It's being transparent instead of mysterious. It's letting them see the parts of you you've kept hidden from the world and watching them hold those pieces with tenderness instead of judgment. Trust is created when two people offer each other the space to be fully human, flawed, imperfect, trying, learning, without fear of being abandoned for their imperfections. And trust goes both ways. You can't demand it if you're unwilling to give it. You can't ask your partner to open up if you're still hiding behind emotional walls. You can't expect vulnerability if you respond with anger, mockery, or distance. You can't preach honesty while practicing secrecy. Trust is a dance. It requires two people stepping forward with courage at the same time. It requires both people to choose transparency over comfort. It requires both people to choose understanding over assumption. The truth is, trust is fragile, but it's also repairable. It doesn't have to shatter forever if something goes wrong. But rebuilding it takes humility, patience, and time. It takes taking responsibility without excuses. It takes showing your partner change, not just saying it. It takes creating a new pattern that proves the relationship deserves a second chance. Nobody rebuilds trust by demanding forgiveness or rushing healing. Trust returns slowly, brick by brick, through consistent actions that say, I'm here, I'm dependable, I'm learning, I'm growing. The strongest relationships are the ones where both partners decide that protecting trust matters more than winning arguments, that honesty matters more than ego, that openness matters more than pride. Because when trust is strong, peace replaces paranoia, connection replaces insecurity, openness replaces guessing games, and love becomes something you can lean on, not something you fear losing. Think about this. When you trust your partner completely, you move differently, you dream bigger, you sleep deeper, you communicate more freely, you relax instead of analyze, you speak your heart instead of editing yourself. You build a future without the fear that it will crumble underneath you. Trust gives you emotional freedom. It gives the relationship breathing room. It gives two people permission to love boldly without tiptoeing around fear. Your partner should feel like your safe place, not your stress place. They should feel like the person you run to, not the person you hide from. They should feel like the one who knows your soul, not the one who questions your intentions. And you should feel the same from them, because the relationship you build will only be as strong as the trust holding it together. So build trust, protect trust, fight for trust, and let it be the foundation upon which every dream, every plan, every memory, every victory in your relationship is built. When trust is solid, your love becomes unbreakable, and so does the life you build together. Communication that heals, connects, and keeps love alive. If you want to build a life with your partner, if you want to create something that lasts longer than the seasons, something that stays standing when everything else is falling apart, you must learn the art of communication. Real communication, not surface talk, not emotional guessing games, not silent treatment, not tone-filled replies, not half answers or emotional shutdowns. I'm talking about communication that heals, communication that connects, communication that pulls two hearts closer even after mistakes, even after misunderstandings, even after hurting each other unintentionally. Because without communication, love suffocates. Without communication, assumptions grow. Without communication, a relationship turns into two people living together but feeling miles apart. People love to say relationships fail because of cheating or money or lack of time. But if you look closely, almost every relationship that falls apart does so because communication stopped long before the breakup ever arrived. Someone stopped expressing their needs. Someone stopped listening. Someone stopped being emotionally available. Someone stopped explaining what hurt. Someone stopped sharing what they were struggling with. Someone stopped being honest because they feared conflict more than they valued connection. And in that silence, distance grew. And in that distance, love slowly lost its oxygen. Communication isn't just about talking, it's about being understood. It's about creating a space where both partners feel safe to express their truth. Not the polished version, not the filtered version, not the version shaped to avoid argument, but the raw, honest truth. It's about saying, "Here's how I feel," without weaponizing it. It's about saying, "Here's what I need," without demanding perfection. It's about saying, "Here's what's bothering me," without making your partner feel attacked. And it's about listening, truly listening, not to respond, but to understand. Most people listen only to defend themselves. They listen only to correct. They listen only to win. But communication isn't a debate. It's a connection. And if you're more focused on winning the argument than healing the relationship, you've already chosen ego over love. The strongest couples are not the ones who never argue. They're the ones who know how to communicate through the argument. They're the ones who can sit in the tension, Breathe through the emotions and say, we're not on the same page yet, but we're not letting go of the book. Communication also requires emotional maturity. It requires you to speak gently even when you're frustrated, to express boundaries without hurting your partner, to share feelings without blaming them for those feelings. It requires you to replace accusations with explanations. Instead of, you never listen to me, try, feel unheard when I'm speaking and you're distracted. Instead of, you don't care, try, sometimes I wish we could connect the way we used to. The difference between destruction and understanding is often just the way the words are delivered. And let me tell you something else, something people rarely admit: your partner cannot read your mind. They cannot automatically know what you're thinking. They cannot instantly decode every silence. They cannot magically understand every mood swing. Stop expecting mind reading and start practicing real expression. Speak your heart, speak your fears, speak your desires, speak your pain, speak your dreams, speak your truth. Because silence might feel safe, but silence destroys slowly. Communication saves loudly. Communication also means talking about the uncomfortable things: money, insecurities, boundaries, past trauma, future plans, emotional needs. Avoiding hard conversations doesn't protect the relationship, it weakens it. When you're honest about where you are emotionally, your partner doesn't have to guess whether you're pulling away. They know how to show up for you. When you share your fears, your partner knows where to offer reassurance. When you share your dreams, your partner knows how to support your path. When you open your heart, your partner knows how to love you better. But communication isn't just about heavy conversations. It's about softness. It's about appreciation. It's about telling your partner what you love about them, what you admire, what you notice, what you're grateful for. A relationship dies in the absence of appreciation, but it thrives in the presence of intentional affirmation. Don't be silent about your love and loud only during your frustrations. Speak life into your partner. Speak recognition. Speak pride. Speak affection. At the end of the day, communication is the bridge between two souls, and that bridge needs maintenance. It needs effort. It needs vulnerability. It needs patience. It needs kindness. When communication is healthy, the relationship becomes a sanctuary. When communication is broken, the relationship becomes a battlefield. Build the bridge. Protect the bridge. Walk across the bridge daily. Because communication is not just part of love. Communication is love in action.